Hey YouTube, what's going on? So today we're going to start a brand new series where we're going to do an in-depth guide onto each of the characters, and I'm going to be breaking them down character based on each of these episodes. So the first episode, I picked Valentine mainly because Valentine is one of the first real strategic buffers you're going to get that is going to really help your team out in those beginning to mid to end level content. There's not really a thing that she doesn't help with in any PvE content, and I figured this would be a good character to start with. So she is a fire element. She is the ranger, and she is a tactician. Now, my only thing is about her specific combination of being ranger tactician is that she doesn't have nearly as much attack as you would like her to have, so expect her damage numbers to not be that groundbreaking compared to a character like Air or Dahlia. Right, basically any striker or mage character, she's not going to be able to outdamage them. And then when it comes to her health and defense, she's definitely going to have more bulk than those strikers and mages. The only thing is that compared to a defender, she's going to be left in the dust. She's honestly not that great when it comes to defending, but that's not her purpose. Her purpose is completely different. And we're going to get into that right now. So, first things first, we're going to cover her skills, because then once we cover her skills, her gear and everything will make sense. So first we have Trigger Happy. This is her S1. Attacks the enemy and increases the priority of the ally with the highest attack by 20%. Now, what this allows you to do is it allows you to take someone like Air and Gnosis Dahlia and be able to basically refresh them faster and allow them to skip turn order sometimes to just really wail on some damage. A lot of damage that you wouldn't necessarily get. Because if you think about it, in 5 turns, they basically got a free turn somewhere, which is absolutely incredible. And this is also her burst skill. So at level 1, she's going to increase the priority of all allies by 10%. At level 2, she's going to get the dual attack with one ally plus the 10%. And then at level 3, she's going to get a dual attack with the 10%. And she's going to get the dual attack with 2 people this time instead of just the 1. I think it does prioritize whichever one is going to do the most amount of damage, because I've seen Air and my Dahlia do it a lot more often than anybody else. Next, we have her S2. This is the main reason why she's a tactician. This skill allows her to increase all allies' critical hit chance and critical damage for 3 turns, and gives her an extra turn. So it increases critical hit chance and critical damage by 50%, which is basically what her character's supposed to do. And gives us an additional turn, which allows us to also keep proccing My Bloody Valentine here, which attacks all enemies and reduces the target's priority by 25%. So by doing this, you are allowing to buff your damage of everybody, because I don't think there's a single character in this game that doesn't benefit from critical hit chance and critical damage. I think everyone benefits from it. That's why she's one of the highest rated buffers, because her effects work on everybody. Now, with My Bloody Valentine, it attacks everybody and reduces their priority by 25%, so it's slowing them down as well. So with her basic skills, she's speeding you up. With her S2, she's giving you increased damage with your criticals. And then her S3 is slowing the opponents down to allow you to get more turns off. And then if she's finishing in your chain, she just gets a 100% chance to increase critical damage of all allies for 2 turns. It's not that great because a lot of times you're going to have Lucky or Die Up all the time. But if you ever get Dispelled, it's not too bad. And if she's ever the bonus partner in a dual attack, she's going to increase the priority of the ally with the highest attack by 20% still, which is still really, really nice. Now we're going to cover her special gear really fast. Her talisman, I don't really know what talisman to really run with her. I think it really is up to you what you want her to be for. I have her 5 chain points when attack scores a critical hit. I believe it procs with the My Bloody Valentine. So if you hit 4 people with it and they all crit, you get that 20 chain points. I don't know if that's how that works, though. You can leave a comment down below and let me know if I'm right or wrong. Anyway, her exclusive equipment is one of the greatest exclusive equipments, in my opinion, in the game. It is awesome. It allows you to do a lot if you just get a little lucky, which I think is kind of funny, because that's her whole character kit, is just getting a little lucky. So her effectiveness is 30 to earth types, but her exclusive equipment perk is when using her S1, she has a 30% chance to activate a dual attack, which, if you remember, that's just her burst level 2. So basically you have a 30% chance every time you use her S1 that it's just a free burst 2, which is really, really solid. It's really, really nice to have. I really like it. Next, for her gear. So I tried using her with a couple different sets. I tried using an attack set. I didn't really like the attack set. It did up her damage, but it wasn't too noticeable. I did try a critical damage set. I didn't even really notice that much of effect of the critical damage. The speed set, however, I definitely noticed a change because she is one of the fastest characters in the game. Boosting her speed again by 25%, most of the time when I'm playing a PvE map, my Valentine can get 2 turns off before one of my other teammates gets a single turn off. So she's able to do some crazy amount of buffing. She's always able to keep those buffs up, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. I love having her run speed gear. Now I have her running Bloody Edge because 35% chance to inflict bleeding. This is just what I have for right now. I mean, I don't have, as you can see, I don't have very much good gear. Like, I don't have that great of gear here, and I don't even have that great of gear here. So this is an area that I don't really have very much expertise in because I don't have a lot of those equips. I'm still fairly new to the game, but I'm learning as best as I can, and I'm learning along with you guys. And if I ever say something wrong or you guys disagree, please feel free to leave it down in the comments, but let's keep our discussions respectful, and let's not start, insulting people just because they might be a little wrong. All right, I don't want to have to deal with that in the comments, just because I want everyone to take this as a learning opportunity to get better at this game and to learn something. So this is Valentine for the most part. What I will say is that if you are devoting a lot of your resources to healing her, she will stay around. If you are devoting a lot of your resources to shielding her, she will stay around. So to show off a little bit, we're going to come here and we're going to go to Chimera 11. I can't beat 12 yet. I don't have the right setup for 12. And we're going to run with this setup just like this. This is the setup I typically run. I like Demi-urges Drakon here. She does a good job buffing everybody with her shield. It is the main reason why I keep her. And Eternal and Air do a really good job comboing together. And it also doesn't hurt that Eternal has a really good chain start that allows her to really shine. Her chain start does a defensive drop, which is really nice for Air because Air is able to capitalize on it pretty well. As you can see, Eternal definitely does benefit from the crit damage increase. Eternal does a great job. I didn't like building her initially because she didn't do all that much damage, but then as soon as I put some attack gear on her, she just started blowing things up out of the water, and it was wonderful. So yeah, I could have avoided that damage there if I had done something a little different, but we're gonna hit him with this because we get a reduced defense, which is what we're after. We are trying to pile on as much damage as we possibly can initially because the Chimera is turn-based and not weakness gauge-based. So we're trying to pop all of our S3s and all of our S2s right now, trying to do as much damage as we possibly can, because as soon as our weakness gauge drops into a point where there's the exclusive equipment coming in clutch again, as soon as we get the point of being able to break it with our weakness gauge, we're going to. And there goes Air being an absolute menace to society. We're at 28. Our weakness gauge does 22, so we got to get 6 more. Here's her burst 3, which is really where we get a lot of our damage. I mean, look at that. Her burst 3 just did almost 15k. Like, that's crazy damage. Perfect. That is a perfect amount to be able to do this. It's always a little different because sometimes you crit, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get the bonus procs on Valentine's, this one. But, like, I hope we get it right now. Perfect. That's beautiful, actually. Because now we get to do this with Air. And look at this damage. 23,000. 12,000. Look at that damage, guys. This might actually just kill because, I mean, look at it. Bam. Boom. 17k. Now, remind you that technically, yes, you're doing 150% of your damage with just a normal crit. But Valentine is increasing that by another 50%, so now you're doing double damage. So basically take 25% of whatever damage numbers you saw there and take it off, and that's how much damage we would have been doing. Now, this is my my rank currently. I am just going to show you really quickly how she affects your combat in PvP with just a quick game. I don't know if this one's really going to benefit a whole lot because we might just nuke them all initially and that doesn't really show us exactly what we're wanting. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this really fast and just finish this up because yeah, don't mind that. don't mind Dahlia. Dahlia definitely shines from Valentine's crit bonuses, if you couldn't tell. There we go. This is a good one, I think. My only thing is I don't know if I'm going to outspeed that Valentine. If I don't outspeed that Valentine, I lose. I believe. If I don't outspeed that Valentine, my opponent's Valentine, I lose. I'm not going to. I think I lost already. Because I'm going to get slowed down too much. And then... I mean, it's just ow. Ow. I mean... if she attacks the wrong person, we definitely lose here. Oh, I forgot that attacks everybody. And there's everyone dead. So, this is what I mean when I say that she is sometimes a little squishy. But that just wiped my entire team, so that doesn't really count. But this is the current meta that we're dealing with, and Valentine has a hard time shining in this meta. This is a nuke meta of dropping as much damage as you possibly can in the first turn. And like this team, I hate this team. This team makes me sad. This team makes me mad. So, because I'm out of arena tickets, I'll just have to show you with this fight. And yes, they're level 80s, and yes, they're not as high level as they should be, but my point still stands. So if we see we have 100%, 77, 73, 68. So logistically, Air should go last. Or Air should go after Eliza and her here, right? So if we do this, though, and we're going to target Eliza here with it. Bam. They all just got slowed down enough to where now Air gets to go and Dahlia gets to go. So we're going to take this opportunity to nuke some of the characters that we don't want to deal with anymore with Air. So there's one gone. Then we got this one gone. And then now with Dahlia we can just drop one of these and this should kill them. This should wipe them off and be done with it. And perfect. So there you go. So overall, in PvE, I definitely think Valentine is a very strong character. In PvP, I think she's a little bit weaker in today's current meta. So this is where I'm going to give the character a ranking. I'm going to scale the character on a 1 to 10 scale based on how good they were in PvE and PvP. In my opinion, in PvE, Valentine does a fantastic job. I think she gets a solid 9, if not a 8.5. 8.5 to 9, I think, is where she stands. Because, again, those problems are still there of her being kind of squishy. She does tend to die. And there is a downside to having this much speed. On a map against, let's say, okay, on floor 100 of the battle tower. The, hold on. Floor 100 of the Skyward Tower. This fight against her, she does a lot of burn effects. And the problem with the burn effects is that if you're going faster, you're taking extra damage from those burn effects. And so then she does tend to die a little bit faster, and you have to heal a little bit quicker than you normally would, just because she's so much faster than everybody else. She's suffering that burn damage ticks faster than everyone else, and tends to get melted pretty quickly. But other than that, that's the really only complaint that I have about her speed stat being as high as it is. Overall, I think she's great at doing everything else. Like I said before, though, she is a little squishy, so she does tend to die sometimes when you don't really want her to. But she does tank fairly well, and her damage isn't that great. It's kind of like mediocre on both of those ends, but it kind of works for her. So that's what I'm saying, 8.5 to 9. It's not perfect, but it's still really, really solid work. In PvP, it is a little bit hard to gauge right now because of the current meta that we're in with PvP of things like Gnosis Dahlia dropping nukes on everything, Demi-urges Stella countering everything you could ever hope to ever accomplish with your life, Veronica counterattacking you and dropping nuclear bombs on your head, Iota stunning you till you literally can't play the game anymore, Dahlia freezing you until you're not allowed to play. It's just a lot of getting free turns and just nuking things. And I don't even want to get started on Demi-urges Aste that exists way down here. She does a terrifying job in PvP. She just deletes you and there's nothing you can do about it. You just get to smile and accept death. So in this current meta, she does tend to lack a little bit of power in that specific aspect. But other than that, she is fantastic in PvP, and I'm going to give her a solid 7.5. I don't think there's a range there. I think 7.5 is probably the best I can give her. Maybe an 8 if you have the right team comp. I just don't know it. If you have a recommended team comp that definitely makes her seem a little bit better, definitely leave that down in the comments below, and I'll definitely check that out. But please don't let the team comp be like Valentine, Rin, Demi-urges Aste, and then like Demi-urges Stella. That's just the most meta team ever. You're just throwing Valentine into it to just kind of make it more annoying. So if you have an off meta team that makes Valentine really good, please let me know. But if you just have a meta team, I know the meta. I just don't like the meta. I hate the meta. I'm a turtle player. I like playing bulky characters that just get to live there and not deal with anything. That's why I have a bruiser team in the works right now. But anyway, that's going to be all for me. I hope you guys found this informative, and I hope it was enjoyable to watch, and I hope you guys were able to follow along pretty well. I'd love some suggestions down below, letting me know some of the things I could have done a little bit differently or a little bit better for the next video. And don't also forget, go down there and let me know what character you want me to do next. I'm definitely trying to do a couple of these characters. I don't want to do the Demi-urges just yet. I want to do the Demi-urges side by side with their counterparts. So I want to do both Drakons at the same time. I want to do both Stellas at the same time, both Astes. I want to do all the Demi-urges at the same time together. I think it just will make for an interesting video, because we'll be comparing like one side of a coin to the other. I think it will be really cool, and I have a big plan for that, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. Anyway, again, thank you all so much for watching. If you found this informative and enjoyable, please do hit that like button, subscribe, comment, whatever. Even if you didn't like it, leave a dislike. I don't care. I'm fine with that too. Any feedback is appreciated. Thank you, Windows. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.